Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto, and today guys we are taking a look at 𝗕𝗓𝗪, who's launching an aviation blockchain and plans to integrate it with Vechain. So Chris, this is an interesting piece because it's been a while, but I do believe a little while ago, lots of people were talking about the aviation industry just not generally getting involved with blockchain, and we've actually seen a few things happen and change recently. So this is actually a pretty decent piece of news, so we thought we'd bring it to you guys, and yeah, let's see what goes on underneath all of this. So if you find it useful and informative, hit that like button. We both really do appreciate it. And of course, if you're new to the channel and you're not yet subscribed, do consider subscribing. By subscribing, you're going to be kept up to date with all the fantastic news and events and things that happen here in various different cryptocurrencies that we cover here at Cheeky Crypto. So yeah, why not? Chris, anything you'd like to add before we jump on over to the desktop and take a look at what's going on here with the 𝗕𝗓𝗪𝗧?
Everyone knows I love Vechain. Let's get straight into it, Nick.
It's your biggest bag. I mean, everyone should know that by now.
Biggest bag. Let's do it.
Fantastic. So 𝗕𝗓𝗪𝗧 launches Aviation Blockchain with plans to integrate Vechain. So this is huge, really. Let's get into it. So 𝗕𝗓𝗪𝗧 has announced the launch of a new blockchain platform aimed at the aviation industry. So this platform seeks to meet the needs of the industry in both the public and private sectors, and the company has partnered with basically quite a few different firms, right, real estate firms and aviation companies with the deployment of this particular blockchain. 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧. I'm probably going to murder a lot of these names, but yeah, something like that they're calling it. So initially, the platform is deployed on Ethereum, but the team wants to make the blockchain agnostic. As a result, they will integrate the Vechain 4 blockchain and also with Proton Chain, one of the company's initial partners. So lots going on here, right? So it's deployed on Ethereum, but they want to make it agnostic, and they're looking at a couple of good blockchains to help do that. The Vechain 4 blockchain, as well as the Proton Chain. So this is going to be really interesting stuff. So the NFT features and use cases, right? So what's going on with this particular blockchain? So named after the Greek word for aviation, and it's probably why I cannot pronounce it to save my life. But companies using this platform will be able to create parallel systems based on the blockchain. Thus, they'll be able to improve the company's registration process and tokenize it. In addition, users will be able to create guaranteed securities, JSON formatted body requests, amongst others, and that's absolutely huge. So a bill of sale will allow other data to be collected and tracked, such as aircraft model, date of manufacturer, maintenance, serial numbers, etc. One of 𝗕𝗓𝗪𝗧's goals is to make the platform fully compatible with non-fungible tokens, NFTs, featured by features by the end of 2021, which is a big milestone in itself. A company released explains in more detail how this particular blockchain uses and secures the collected data. Okay, so the guarantees are stored, an additional transaction hash field is returned and contains ID of relevant ETH transactions. The create a new security guarantee feature allows it to be automatically stored on as a smart contract on the Ethereum network. So you can see quite a few things going on there, which is really interesting. Being able to store guarantees inside an additional transaction hash, and then obviously that's going to be returning the ID of the relevant ETH transaction. And yeah, all of that's going to be rolled up then into a smart contract on Ethereum. That sounds like quite a bit of work there, and it seems interesting. Obviously, not a lot of detail in that and the complete works of this thing, but it's definitely got my attention. And this blockchain has been built on the Python programming languages. Language, and uses the REST framework with a Web3.py interface. The platform has support for Docker, therefore developers will be able to build, ship, and run distributed applications. And 𝗕𝗓𝗪𝗧 founder and CEO Nathan stated, The blockchain aviation platform's RESTful API is able to integrate seamlessly into existing product stacks and workflows without adding additional steps, which can be time-consuming and costly. Ubiquitously recently signed up as a small organizational member of the Government Blockchain Association and we have plans to join their new blockchain aviation working group, which aligns perfectly with the launch of the blockchain. So really good stuff, Chris, because it's good to see another kind of blockchain integrating in with a VeChain, which is obviously a very solid project in itself. And this is a VeChain video, so it just kind of goes on to the very long list of growing partnerships that VeChain has and lots of integrations that are going on there. But anything you want to add to that, Chris?
Yeah, I kind of feel like it's something we talk about quite a lot on the channel, that there are going to be many winners in this space. And, we're going to start to see projects integrating more closely and bridging across one another. And I think this is another prime example of what we've been talking about, and what we've been expecting, right? So, again, not just because it's VeChain, but I think, it's great for any of the projects sort of involved in this particular, I want to call it a pilot. It isn't really a pilot, but, just with all the, aeroplanes and stuff flying around in my brain at the minute, it's what comes to mind. But, I think it's going to be fantastic. I think, there's probably a lot more to this one that we need to dig in a little bit more. But it's another use case that perhaps isn't being sort of scoped out, at least publicly, as much as I think it's going to, blockchain is going to play a big role in aerodynamics and parts and all that sort of stuff, particularly with like engines for Rolls-Royce and all that sort of stuff. And I think I expect these things to start sort of coming to fruition in the next few years.
I do too, Chris. I think there's a lot that can be done in terms of just traceability, in terms of making things incredibly secure in the aviation space. It's a no-brainer to me. So really interested to see how this one plays out. Really happy to see that it's going to be integrating in with VeChain, and that is really good news. So let's, Chris, jump over to the charts and see what's going on with the VET token, because it is going incredibly close to all-time highs. So this is the VET token to the USDT using Binance as the exchange for data. Here we have that Fibonacci retracement from that low level on the 31st of January through to that high level, which was a double tap here at the top on the 12th and 13th of February. From there, we obviously had the retracement and recently highs breaking out. Now, today's wick and body of the candle, Chris, is absolutely really interesting me, because we are pushing up against that former high level, really tough there. And I don't think this has got any kind of scope of slowing down. I think this is going to potentially keep going. So let's get into some detail and see what we can see. One, obviously, we can see quite clearly what's going on there with the wick, and the wick is pushing up against that top boundary, and the body's not far behind it. It has come back and has been pushing to and from, and we'll have a look at that in the 4-hour and the 1-hour views. So the candles are looking pretty good. The volumes are actually kind of decreasing on that bigger macro view, but actually day on day, from yesterday to today, the volumes are slightly increased. And given that today hasn't finished yet, that's a positive sign. We can obviously see that the RSI is actually still below that 70 level. It's not overbought yet, so that still has room to the upside on the daily chart here. So we can extend this a little bit further as needed. So I still think we have potential scope to push to new all-time highs any moment now. So what we're going to do is pull this into that 4-hourly chart and see what's going on there. Here we can see exactly what's going on with those candles. We can see we're pushing strongly now up against that former high level, and we'll see if we can push through. We can see the volumes have steadily been increasing in the last few hours here, and even in the last kind of day or so, those volumes have been increasing nicely. We see that we were quite low on this RSI. We actually dropped below 50 before having a nice rally to the upside here, and we're actually currently at about 66 with plenty of space to the upside to become overbought. Up here, we would expect to be somewhere in the zone of about 75 before potentially coming back down. So we've got about 10 points here on this RSI to kind of experiment with pushing the price slightly higher. So lots to play for here. The volumes obviously need to increase from their current position here, but this 4-hour count has only just started, so we'll have to see how that plays out, and lots of room to the upside on the RSI. So things are looking pretty good at the moment on the 4-hour chart, Chris, to potentially set a new all-time high. What we're going to do is just throw us down into that 1-hour view. And here we can see a lot more of what's going on. We can see how we're pushing so hard up against that that former all-time high. It's only really a matter of time before we start pushing on ahead. Now we can see that we were quite low on this RSI. We actually got down towards 30, came in at about 31, and most recently we've been taking advantage of all of that space on this RSI and pushing up the price. Now we're not overbought yet, but there's definitely a lot of space up to that top end there, so we can become overbought without any problems at this particular point in time. Now the volumes do need to improve, but like I said, this hour's only just started, so we're about halfway through. So we'll see if this volume is able to push on a little bit higher, and if we can get to the same kind of level as this, then we should set a new all-time high, as long as that's quite positive volume there. So everything's looking pretty good. We obviously have that MACD cross, which is positive, which you're normally going to get because we had this bullish move here on the RSI. So nothing too alarming there either. Everything, Chris, looks like it's going to be looking really, really good for VET and the Vechain blockchain here. Now, if I just pull this up into that daily view once again, we can see how much we are pushing up against there, trying to set that new all-time high. We know that there's plenty of space to the upside on the daily, on the 4-hourly and the hourly view here for the RSI, so lots of room to play with. And the volumes are okay, they're not too alarming at this point, so I think we could potentially see a new all-time high within the next few hours, Chris. I think everything is gearing up quite nicely for it, and I think it's going to be quite nice to see. Now, in terms of price predictions and things like that, we're obviously still going after our first price target, which is 8.3 cent. I'm not sure we're going to get as high as that straight away. I imagine that we might end up with a bit of a bouncing situation, Chris, where maybe we'll go up from where we are here, maybe to about 7 or so, and then from there, maybe we'll come back down, confirm that the previous high level here is now actually a support, and then from there, go ahead and try to take out the all-time or our price target there of 8.3. So it could be a few days away from getting there, but I think we've got significant amount of motion in play. Ultimately, I think there's going to be a limit here because of how high we are on the RSI at the moment, and the volumes seem to be dipping a little bit. So I think ultimately we're probably not going to go all the way up in one go. I think we'll come probably halfway up there, pull back down, correct the RSI, correct the volumes, and then have another shot at moving it up a little bit further. So I think Vechain's in a really good position, Chris. You'll be happy to hear, because it is your biggest bag. You're going to be really thrilled when this starts setting new all-time highs, which I think are literally going to happen at any moment now. So really interesting to see how that plays out. Yeah, anything else you would like to add, Chris?
Just that, I think there's still so much in the tank for Vechain. Buzzing that we're going to be, again, setting new all-time highs. But I expect this to be an ongoing thing through this bull run, to be honest, with Vechain. I think we're only just getting started.
I totally agree with that, Chris. Things are just starting, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. So guys, if you have found this video useful and informative, hit that like button. We both really do appreciate it. And of course, if you're new to the channel and you're not yet subscribed, do consider subscribing. By subscribing, you're going to be kept up to date with all of the videos and live streams that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. It is free, so yeah, why not stay informed? And we'd love to have you here. And with all this said and done, guys, we hope everyone has a fantastic day, and we'll catch you all in the next one.
Take care.